Okay, we're live.
Okay, we're live. Um, Hello everyone. Welcome back to this week's SD. Uh, so before we continue, go on with our SD, can both the teams please introduce themselves?
Hello, I'm Gayatri from Team Clause Mavericks. I'm working as an organizational psychologist in Deep Thought, and yeah.
Hello, I'm Farisa from Claus Mavericks. I am a retired champion in Deep Thought.
Hello, I'm Namra from Tricks. I'm working as an organizational psychology in Deep Thought.
Hello, I am Amruta. I work as a content writer with Unique Biotech, and today I am the coach for Team Claus Mavericks.
Hello, I'm myself Priyanshu Saxena. I am from Team Growth Catalyst. I am working as a software developer in Deep Thought.
Hello, I'm Sanjeevni Sinha. I'm from the team Growth Catalyst and I'm working with the organizational psychology team at Deep Thought.
Hello everyone, I'm Surya. I'm a part of Team Growth Catalyst, and in Deep Thought, I'm working as content creator.
Hello everyone. I am Dia and today I'll be moderating the SG.
Hi everyone, I'm Pratibha Yaduvanshi and I'm currently working as an organizational psychologist at Deep Thought.
Hello everyone, this is Shreya and I'm working as an organizational psychologist at Deep Thought and today I'll be co-moderating the SD. Today's SD is going to be on the topic Construe the Constitution. So we have two teams who are going to discuss how Constitution's principles can be interpreted in the context of organizations in helping us create schemes for them. So who would like to go first?
We can go first.
Okay, so before we begin with your presentation, can you give us a reason for your name?
Yes. So group of claws make laws. So Mavericks is a character who tries to bring change in systems while breaking the rules in a positive way.
Okay, you can start with your presentation. Please remember the time limit of 2 to 3 minutes.
So the problem statement is organizations often struggle to consistently generate innovative solutions due to limited top-down approaches that exclude diverse perspectives and hinder employee engagement. So this results in missed opportunities for growth and process improvement. So we are trying to tackle this problem with a structured platform that empowers employees to contribute ideas, encourages cross-functional collaboration, and ensures that best innovations are effectively developed and implemented to drive value.
The Innovation Lab policy upholds the combination of Right to Information Act and freedom of speech, providing equal access to information, open participation, and transparent decision making. Teams are accountable for the results that align with company values, fostering fairness and innovations. Next slide, please. Setting a problem state bank. Here we provide resources to understand the problems, ensuring transparency, provide and ensure that whatever document we share has the information that they ask for. Brainstorming pipe. Here we can use the funnel system where all the best ideas are sorted and worked on. Recognition, where every employee are aware of the policy that we are applying so they can effectively collaborate. Next slide.
This idea of innovation lab can be evaluated through number of ideas submitted and percentage of employee participation, percentage of selected ideas based on feasibility and impact, then financial and operational impact on organization, and number of or percentage of ideas successfully implemented and contributed to organization.
How it would impact? So we are fostering freedom of speech, right to information in the organization. So when we this inculcates the idea of inclusivity in the organization, which would lead to accelerated innovation. And when we give the idea of freedom of speech, this creates a trust and credibility in the employees, where all the employees would take initiative to give their own ideas and the solutions for the problem statements. This would lead to a sustainable growth. Next slide. We as an innovation lab acts as a transformatory machine. So it creates a culture of trust, inclusivity, and shared ownership. This would lead to growth of the organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Close Mavericks, for your pitch. Now the other team, Growth Catalyst, can start asking questions.
Okay, I have a question. You mentioned about selecting the best, strategies people give. So, what will be the metric for that? How will you decide which idea is good or which is not?
That rubric or that matrix is yet to finalize, but some aspects could be feasibility, impact, and yeah.
Okay, Sanjani, does it answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, I have one question. You mentioned that you will set up a problem statement bank. What do you mean by that?
So yeah, Parisa, you can.
Yeah, by that mean in an organization we have different processes and different projects running on. So whatever the teams would be facing problems, we would collect them into a centralized document that would be a problem statement bank, where everyone can access that document and refer to it.
Does that answer your question, Priyanshu?
Yes.
You follow? Okay. Anyone else has any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Like, after getting the best strategy or the idea, what are the processes you are using to implement it?
Experimentation method. So first we would experiment it on a small scale. We are going to build infrastructure for the experiment, and then after considering the impact or the feedbacks, we can decide if we want to implement it in an organization on larger scale or not.
Do you have a follow-up with that, Surya?
Oh, okay, no further.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, so you mentioned about tackling the top-down approach. So if a system is centralized and it's a already like well-established system, so how and like how will you decentralize it? What steps or measures will you consider?
Centralized in what sense?
You mentioned in the initial slides that you're tackling the top-down approach, which is basically centralized. That means the power dynamics are strong and some few people in the companies have a strong position that they hold, and you're focusing to tackle that. So what is the process that you're trying to, like, how would you make it decentralized? That's my question.
So this whole innovation lab project allows all the employees to contribute their ideas and their solutions for whatever problem statement they would want to provide solution for. So this, and if they provide a solution which is working well, they would get the reward and recognition, and also they would be so that's how they are contributing for in important decisions and innovations in an organization.
See, the whole idea of having a innovation lab is having that decentralized unit, so that we can tackle the top-down approach, the regular approach.
Not only people who are higher in hierarchy are involved in innovations or finding solutions for problem statements.
The problem statement bank comes there only. There, regardless of the authority, they would be adding the problem statements, and we encourage all of them to ideate over there.
Does that answer your question, Pratibha?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Does anyone have any follow-up question or any other question?
Yeah, I have a question. You said it will strengthen the accountability. Can you elaborate it more?
Yeah, when we give them freedom of taking decisions, they need to think about what kind of their decisions, the decisions they are taking, and how it would impact the organization. So with authority, responsibility comes. There's where accountability would come.
Does anyone else have any question?
Yes, I have one question. How do you make sure that everyone is participating in this policy?
We don't want to make it compulsory, as those who want to provide solution and those who have that drive that they want to provide solutions for the problem statements, they are welcome. And also there would be some only for participation, there would be some rewards and scores given for to the employees, even if their solution works or not, so that everyone can participate. They don't have any issue or any complex.
Do you have any follow-up question, Priyanshu?
No.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. How can we say like, okay, in organizations, there is already a lot of brainstorming that happens, right? People sit together, they brainstorm over how they can deal with a problem statement, right? So will writing it down and sending it in kind of, make the that experience kind of not as brainstorming should be, if you get my point? Like brainstorming when you're sitting down together and those ideas bounce off each other, like in a Socratic dialogue right now, right? We're questioning, answering, and some new idea comes from that, right? Will writing it down and sending it in not limit this experience?
See, we are not stopping any kind of brainstorming. The brainstorming would be allowed. It would happen in a team, but we allow cross-functional teams also to give their responses. So an extra element of innovation could be added into it.
Also, in after when they are evaluated, when whenever a person is saying that I am providing this solution, there would be a Socratic dialogue when it's evaluated, or when we would when that so that person can realize what are the strengths and some areas for improvement for the solution he is providing.
So, Sanjeevani, it is something like we do. How did you come to the SD? You wrote your idea down, you sent your pitch, and then you came to the SD. So it is something similar to that.
Got it.
Okay, I think we can close off this round now and over to Growth Catalyst with your presentation. But before that, please let us know why you named your team as Growth Catalyst.
So the purpose of our scheme and rule is to accelerate the personal and professional growth through by emphasizing in emotional intelligence and leadership skills and cognitive skills. So we are accelerating these qualities into the individual. So we are working as catalyst for the growth, and that's why we named our team Growth Catalyst.
Okay. Thank you very much. You guys can start with your pitch. Just remember the 3 minutes time limit.
Yeah. So the problem statement we have here is what scheme and rule can an organization constitution can include that will cultivate growth, inclusivity, and well-being while addressing different challenges and like initiate collaboration and conflict resolution and decision making. The scheme we have here is Cognition Catalyst Program, which will accelerate growth, like improve collaborative learning and provide some guided challenges for the whole organization to grow. The rule we have here is empathy driven resolution protocol, which will like initiate empathy-driven approach, bring fairness and accountability, and bring sustainable harmony to the organization.
Now, if we come to how we'll implement this, for this scheme, there will be collaborative growth circles, which will be drawing on Vygotsky's zone of proximal development. There will be guided learning challenges where we'll use different types of scaffolding techniques. There will also be insight forums where there will be presentations. Now, for the implementation of the rule, there will be empathy building exercises based on a person centered approach. There will be dual feedback mechanism where both parties involved will be discussing, and there will also be a resolution impact review. Next slide. Now coming to the evaluation of the scheme, there will be feedback collection after every growth circle. There will also be some performance metrics, and we'll also analyze the participation rate and engagement levels. And for the rule, there will be post-resolution surveys. We will also track any recurrence in the conflicts of which are of similar nature, and there will also be mediator reports by the mediator who will be there.
So the impact of organizational growth will be the cognition catalyst program fosters continuous learning, emotional intelligence, and leadership development, enhancing employees' productivity and innovation and problem solving. Collaborative growth circles and guided challenge promote a culture of teamwork and adaptability, driving organizational resilience. The empathy-driven resolution protocol strengthen the trust and accountability, and these initiative collectively build a workforce equipped to address complex challenges and drive sustainable growth. Next slide, please. So integrating these structured learning and empathetic conflict resolution, the organization fosters a high performance culture rooted in trust and collaboration and innovation. The Cognition Catalyst program enhances skills and leadership, while the empathy-driven resolution protocol strengthens workplace harmony. Together, these initiatives position our organization for sustainable growth and success. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Growth Catalyst, for your pitch. Over to Team Class Mavericks for your questions.
How would you evaluate the impact, or how would you measure the impact of these schemes and rules?
Okay, as we mentioned in the evaluation part of it, that there will be feedbacks, right? For this scheme, basically, there will be feedback we'll be taking after every growth circle there is, or every challenge that they do, right? There will be feedback how they like the process, and they will reflect on it. And we'll also be doing like kind of surveys after the rule also, like if they have resolved a conflict, right, we will ask them only how effective it was and will it help them in the future.
Okay.
Questions?
So, yeah, you can go ahead.
I had a question that which constitutional policy or constitutional right are you fostering over here?
Okay, so for the, yeah, Surya, you can go.
So we are using Article 38 here, which ensures the welfare of the people, and it ensures the equality in opportunities and growth and sustainable growth. So we are directive principles of state, Article 38. We are referring to that principle.
Yeah, and also to add on to that, the rule, the empathy-driven resolution protocol, it is also based on the right to equality, where we are ensuring fairness and transparency in the entire process of resolving conflicts.
Okay, Farisa, does that answer your question? Do you have any follow-up questions?
No, it answers.
Okay, over to the next question.
What is the criteria for performance metrics?
Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean by performance metric? Like, what is the criteria? What do you mean by criteria? How we will
Like,
evaluate the performance metrics, right? Is their like performance improved or not?
Namra, I think your mic isn't working well. Would anyone else like to take up the question?
Yeah, I understood what she was trying to say. She was saying that the exact metrics that we will follow, like if we are measuring how their performance was, what exactly are we looking at under it?
Okay, who would like to answer this question?
Okay, so for the performance metrics, we can evaluate how different team was improving, will be improving in their like project they have got, right? We can make sure that the scheme which is cognitive catalyst program like improve their understanding and all. But if they got a better understanding, then they can complete their project more efficiently and more like fastly, I guess.
Yeah, to add on to that, of course, we've not, specified it exactly, but if we're looking at cognition, we'll look at different processes that come under cognition, right? So we'll be looking at their listening skills, their comprehension, their problem solving skills, and so on. So the metrics could go according to.
The rules you suggested are
Just
yeah, Surya, you can go ahead. Okay, so
just to add on that, if okay, guys.
No, Surya, you can go ahead.
Okay, just to add on that, if we are in the growth catalyst program, what we are doing, we are, uh, different group of people will present their projects, their ideas for the growth, their experiences. So this is kind of presentation of the project.
Okay, Gayatri, do you have anything else to add or follow-up question?
So you mentioned that you are implying rules. So that does it mean that every conflict needs to be needs to follow the same structure or need to go through the same scheme?
Okay, every conflict is of course different, right? And the process to deal with that conflict is always tailor-made, but there is always a structure to things, right? And in here, in this empathy-driven protocol that we're using the person-centered approach, which is very dependent on the type of people involved in the conflict, right? So it is basically based on fostering that empathy in them and being able to listen to the other person who's involved in the conflict, right? So that is, I think, very basic when it comes to conflict resolution.
I hope that answers your question, Gayatri. Do you have any follow-up?
No, not follow-up, but different question. What resources are required to implement these schemes, and how would you justify the investment, and how much time you want uh, everyone to engage with this program?
Who would like to answer the question?
Yeah, so uh, we there is no time limit for the programs. What we are doing is we are uh, assessing the weekly presentation of their growth, or whatever task they are performing. So yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned investment, right? So for the investment, I think it is mainly strategizing for the type of challenges that will be there and all. So just like we have a team here, right, who organizes drills. Similarly, there will be a team to guide all that, and the time constraints. It will be basically maybe a bi-weekly thing or once in a fortnight, something like that. So we've not come down to the specifics yet, but yeah, we can work on it.
Is this program only focused on resolving the conflicts, or are you also trying to do something to avoid the conflicts? Are you going to implement some good practices or something?
This program is basically to resolve the conflict, that the conflict, uh, those conflict which can, impact the organizational growth. Yeah, so resolving the conflict.
Yeah,
Is
and to
that
add on to that, of course, when we're resolving, we're making the environment more empathetic. And when people start listening to the other person, they eventually grow into that mindset, right? So we're, using one stone for the both things.
Okay.
How does
Okay, Farisa got stuck. I think, Gayatri, you can ask your question. Farisa,
Are,
okay. Gayatri, please go on.
are there any potential risks that you see in this program? And how would you address them?
If we look at the scheme, the Cognition Catalyst program, there might be, a place where the challenges get boring, or maybe, they get repetitive, or we get stuck in a loop somewhere. But I don't think there will be any issue in resolving them if we conduct more research and, brainstorm more on it.
Okay, guys, I hope that we stick to today's topic then and ask questions related to the constitutional value.
Yeah, I had a question that you're using the Article 38, right? You mentioned empathy. So, fostering this empathy, you mentioned that it would help enhance the cognitive skills, right? So, how it would do that?
Okay, first of all, the empathy program and the cognition program are two different things, but also inculcating empathy is kind of a part of our cognition, right? So first, I would like to clear that. And apart from that, how exactly we are doing this? Um, as I already mentioned in the implementation part of it, that we'll be okay. So we'll be focusing on the scaffolding technique, right? The scaffolding technique basically says that providing guidance, not dictating someone, right? So just like when we learn to ride a bicycle, what happens? Slowly and gradually, our parents leave our bicycle, right? And that's how we learn. So it's kind of structured like that.
Does that answer your question, Parisa?
But how is it enhancing the cognition?
Yeah, I would like to answer that. In our program, what uh, we are forming a group of the new recruiters and the experienced employees, and we are giving them some real world issue or organizational issue to solve. So, the new recruit, they are what they are doing. They are working in a group towards solving that problem, and they are, we are providing the guidance also to solve that problem. And gradually we are that support will be decreased.
Okay.
Are you using any strategies to imbibe constitutional values and principles?
Can you repeat?
Are you using any strategies to imbibe constitutional principles and values? other strategy than the program.
Can you elaborate? Didn't got you.
So you mentioned that this program would foster empathy and you mentioned some constitutional principles, right? So what are the so how it will take time to actually imbibe these qualities into the employees. So what are some strategies you are using to accelerate that?
Okay, so I think these programs are actually, taking those baby steps towards reaching that place where they can, imbibe all those values. It does not come so suddenly, right? Growing values and changing someone's mindset takes time. So, of course, we'll be taking it slow, right? We'll be doing those growth circles where there'll be more and more interaction, right? And I think from the people who are already experienced and already living in that ecosystem, they have already cultivated those values, right? Those constitutional frameworks, which are actually related to their organization, they've already imbibed that. And when those new people who are joining, they come and, interact with them, learn with them, I think it will automatically, help foster that in them.
Okay.
How is your program different from several other programs for improving cognitive skills?
Yeah, Namra. So what do you mean by several other programs?
There are actually multiple programs where cognitive skills are improved, which come. Yes. So, how is your program different from them?
Yeah, so our end goal is basically to improve their cognition, right? So I don't think that there need a difference, but also we are making sure that there would be different groups in which, like as Surya mentioned, there would be a group of employees, like existing employees, and there would be a group of new recruits which will do collab learning type of thing. And through the through some challenges, we'll make sure that every new recruit or the employer are understanding the things and improving their cognition ability.
Okay, Namra, I hope that it answered your question. And with the interest of time, we can stop end this round. And before we end the SD, we would like 3 reflections from you guys. Who would like to go first for reflection?
I can go.
Sure, Sanjeevani. Thank you.
Okay, so this was my first SD, so I was a little, I was in my head about how I'll be able to answer the questions. But on the self-gratitude side, I'm really proud of myself for how I answered them. And apart from that, this SD, it opened up even questions I had not thought of about the pitch we had, right? Like Gayatri mentioned, what could go wrong, right? Those were things I could, think about, and those questions even ignited more thoughts related to the program in my head. So, yeah, that's all.
All right. Thank you, Sanjeevani. Yes, Parisa, please go ahead.
Yeah, so the topic of the ST was Construe of Constitution. That's not really, Constitution is something that I tend to ignore. It's not interesting for me. But as we were preparing for the SD, we went through various articles which Constitution is provided, and we were thinking and we were brainstorming how are we going to foster those policies into our organization. Means how the constitutional policies would help us to enhance our organizational growth and create a culture where innovation is also there, and we also provide freedom. So yeah, that was one learning. And the empathy, which was at the team's pitch, it also helped me in getting that we could run many empathy programs into the organization. Slowly but gradually, it would help enhance the working or the dynamics of the organization. Yeah.
Thank you, Farisa. Gayatri, you can go ahead.
Yeah, for me as well, earlier I used to thought that constitution is only for the nation and it can be a boring when you go to study it. But when when we were trying to implement some constitutional principles and values in the organization, I actually came across certain learnings that actually the constitution is built in a way that it can actually help to shape any organization as well. So that was one major learning. There are a lot of values and principles that can be used if we try to create schemes and programs and everything. And also the other team's pitch, it was creative, that how empathy and constitutional values both combined, they created one program.
Thank you, Gayatri. I think we can end